Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Webster Ace Hardware and Farm Supply are generous sponsors for today's podcast. They have been a family-owned business for 27 years. This helpful hardware store sells items such as archery, Ariat clothing and boots, Wrangler jeans, case knives, Hammond's candies, and live fishing gear. They also have a full selection of hardware, RV supply, propane, Ben Moore, Royal & Clark, and Kingston paints. You need a barn or fencing job done? Custom barn kits and roofing metal are provided at your local Ace Hardware store. What about a new grill for the yard? Traeger, Big Green Egg, Weber, and Blackstone are found here, along with all the accessories to go with them. Stock up your workshop with DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Craftsman tools. They got you covered. Remember to go to ace.com to shop their entire line to have items shipped directly to the store. All right, guys, welcome to another edition of the Goblay Show. I'm your host, Billy Goble, and today we have a special guest. I've met him a couple times at the Old Smoky Distillery, and we got balloons going on. I like that. Old Smoky Distillery in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And he's a hilarious guy. He's now doing stand-up and been doing stand-up, writing jokes and stuff like that, but kind of focusing on that. And so today's guest is Michael Savage. Michael, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, I mean, how's it going? How are you? I mean, I've only met you twice my entire life, so this is the third time I've ever encountered you. So how are you?
Right. I'm in prison right now. That's what these bricks are. No, I'm just talking nonsense. I'm great. Comedy's going great. It's hard work, but you know, my jokes are like getting consistent and stuff, and you know, my development in comedy is like coming together, and I'm also kind of learning how to get the word out there better and stuff. So like things are good. I'm always busy. I'm always working. I'm always tired, but whatever. I'm doing well. So things are good.
Well, I think that's the key to learning something new is keeping at it. And they always say if you really love something, you'll do everything you can to get good at it. So, and I know comedy is something that you have to keep practicing at. I mean, we can all tell dad jokes, but I mean, it's all in the delivery, and it's what you make of it.
Yeah, it's just nonsense, man. I just love talking nonsense. And like, as long as you catch people off guard, 9 times out of 10, if you have like a silly, stupid surprise, they're going to laugh. So it's just like, how shocking and like jarring can you be? It's like really the game, like how you disguise your setups and stuff. Yeah, I've been doing comedy for a long time. And, you know, I worked a lot of gigs, like, you know, coming up and stuff. And hey, if you're looking for conversation pieces, we could talk about that. I got some good ones actually that you probably won't even see coming. Now we're gonna have to talk about it, but you know, I've been doing stand-up for a while. Stand-up's like a fickle beast, man. I'll tell you what, it's very, very challenging. You really have to commit to it. It's so much harder than what you met me doing, like over at Old Smoky. Which for those of you who don't know, I'm a moonshine tasting bartender. That's how I met Billy. He likes to day drink next to a Build-A-Bear. So that's your host. That's your host for today.
It makes me feel good about myself when I'm feeling down, and I have, you know, it's like going to a state fair. Whenever you're feeling bad about yourself, just go look around at the state fair. You'll perk right back up. You'll just say, you know, it's not that bad actually.
Hey, it's like a daycare for dads and uncles. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Wasting all their money, making them want to drink over and Build-A-Bear.
An adult
just, you know, holding on to the bar over by me.
That's right. So that's where I met you as at Old Smoky, and that's at the island in Pigeon Forge. And it's also, if you've never been, people, it's a great place to go. Taste test, and you will definitely want to bring some home with you, because that's what we did both times. So I guess you can bring. It's not illegal anymore to bring moonshine across state lines anymore, but we had to go from Tennessee to Florida, so we were smuggling it. We didn't stop at the weight station or the ag station
like
there.
The ag. So for $27, you could bring home a jar of moonshine. For $13, you could bring home your bartender.
There you go. See, that's what we walked into, people. This is he was talking about the setup. It's about the setup. It's all about the delivery.
I know my worth.
So let's see. The first time I met you, you walk in there, it's crazy. Like there's all this, just it's like a madhouse because everybody's trying to figure out what kind to get. There's like 87 flavors on the walls. It looks like a library for drunks. It's
funny.
hilarious.
I like that.
Yeah, you can use that. Take that. I'm just kidding. And so you go in there and you walk up, and this guy's behind the bar, and like you see him, and he's like, "Hey guys, come on over." And I'm guessing a little commission is involved with that. Hey, come on over, guys. Hey.
I mean, you know how it goes. Gotta make money.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. And I would be the same way if I was behind there doing exactly what you did. I'm a people person. You are definitely a people person. People that know me will say, I'm like, nah, I'm not. They're like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? But that's what it takes. It takes someone to be like that in order to get someone to smile, laugh, and have a good time. I mean, it's all about, they say it's not the song, it's the singer. So
yeah, I hear that.
Remember that.
And like, that's why I think stand-up was so hard for me to get into, because like at work it's easy. I got like 12 jokes really is what it comes down to, and then like a million asides just because I'm a smart ass. But besides that, the set's so simple. But stand-up has like so much more to it, and you do you do like different rooms at different times. So it's like there's different, like comedy's all about truth. So you can't like go in there with some pre-rehearsed like garbage and just go read off a notebook paper. Like you can't do it. You got to act like you're in the moment, but you also got to write like for the occasion and stuff. But even if your writing is good, the point I'm making about, you're talking about how I bring people over and stuff, like your delivery is everything, because you can have a great punchline, but if you're all nervous and shaky and choked up and dry mouthed or whatever, it's all happened, it's not going to come out right. And then if it doesn't come out right, you don't get a good read on it, because that's not how it's supposed to be delivered. So it's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. It's freaking hard, man. But I'm crazy enough to stay committed to it.
Well, that's the thing is you hit a good point on that. If it's like I've always said this. It's like because I used to work at Disney. I don't know if you knew that, but I used to work at Disney, and we would you had certain things that you would do, and then sometimes it was a scripted part, and nobody, but people don't know unless they watch what you do every day. Then they know you mess up. But if you mess up, just keep going with it. And a lot of people see that, they don't see it as a good thing. They just go, "Oh, I messed up," and they stop. And then they try to recoup, and it's like, just keep going. It's ad lib, man. If you tell a joke and it's not good, just go to the next joke. It's not, you know what I mean? It's like, just keep going. It's like taking a breath. You don't hold on to that one breath. There's another one coming. Just keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to like get over that, like, not that you're never going to be perfect, at any stage. When I was younger, it was really frustrating stuff. But like now it's like I still get like, I see myself in a certain like level, and I gotta keep working till I get there, but I'm close. Like it's like I did a show in Atlanta and I did really well. There's a couple like points in my set that could have been toned up a little bit, but honestly, I like, they still, everything got something, and some things got really big laughs, so plus I got a video of that. One time I stuttered so bad, I was trying to say apple pie. And like our apple pie moonshine, try it out, old smoky, but I couldn't say apple. I was so tired and I just couldn't get the words out, and I must have stuttered for like 6 seconds. It was terrible. And the bar just laughed at me and was like, "You been getting into moonshine?" And I was like, "No, dude, shut up." And they also kicked off my bar. Yeah. I never want to see you in here again.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've done that before too. Like you'll go to tell somebody a story, and it's like you lock up. You're like, and they're like, is he having a stroke? What is he doing? Like, it's like you don't, and up here, you're like, just say the word, just say the next word, and it won't. It's like in sports, the yips, where you just go, "What did I do? How do I forgot how to."
Yeah, I know. And then everyone's looking at you and you're stuttering.
And you're like,
start a little bit.
That's when you go. Anyways,
Basically, you just gaslight him like it never happened. That's what you do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, either he has ADHD or he's just there's something wrong with this guy, and we'll just laugh to be nice.
I hope that they only focus on my stuttering as my problems, because I got plenty more than that. All type of daddy issues, man. Type of crazy that I just like talking about nonsense all day. It's freaking awesome.
Well, you were saying, like, speaking of, like, how did you, like, because you're not, are you from Tennessee? I mean, that you live there, right? You're in Tennessee now. Are you originally from there, or?
No, I'm from Queens, New York. Yeah. The people sitting at home, I don't know if they're going to watch this video, but if you do, you're going to see I actually look like a hot dog vendor.
Hey, I don't assume anymore. You could be from, they think I'm from like Georgia. And I'm like, no, I'm from Florida. And they're like, oh, well, we could have, I guess it's better than sounding like a woman, I guess, on the phone. I don't know. They're like, who is this guy? I start to do voices and stuff just to try to hide my accent, I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. Just be yourself. But
yeah, I mean, it's worked to my advantage. I kind of stand out. And in comedy, it's like, you want to be different. You don't want to be normal. And everyone's got their quirks, Yeah. So like, that's why it's so hard to steal someone's joke. It really is.
Right.
Unless it's just a trash joke to begin with.
Right.
But it's got to come from like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm Italian. I'm living in the South. It's been awesome, except for the pizza. What's up, guys? What's up with that? What is up with that? Let's talk about that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So how old were you when you moved from New York to, and of all places, it's Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I mean, it's not your destination place from New York. Normally, people from that area love to come to Florida or somewhere else, or on the coast somewhere. They're like, oh, let's go to Florida when we retire. We're going to take the kids to Florida. That's how my parents got here. I mean, Tennessee.
Well, it's right outside the birthplace of Dolly Parton. I'm sure we got some fans listening. My parents decided to move down to the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee when we found out that my parents are actually cousins. So
very cool.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
Very cool.
And then, as a young aspiring comedian, I go where their basement is, and I ended up in the South. So
literally in the South.
Yeah. I was in the holler. But, I came down here by accident. So I was dating someone. We broke up, and in the same month, I got laid off from my job. So it was just a shit storm.
Right.
It was like 8 years ago, and I just needed a fresh start.
Gotcha.
So I had some family down here. Let me come crash for a little bit, and then I started working. It took a couple of years. I was doing like gigs and whatnot before I kind of found myself out here.
Right.
But then when I found Old Smoky, I love Old Smoky. Like, that's a perfect job for me, man.
Yeah.
It's a perfect like bridge from what I was doing to like what I want to do, which is like stand-up comedy. I was doing kids' birthday parties before that, so I'll just throw that out.
I love it. I mean, you got to start somewhere. You just can't assume you're going to start playing the main room. I mean, if that's what you really want to do, you can't start at the top. You got to start at the bottom. I mean, everybody does that.
Oh yeah, man, I've been doing it for a long time. Like, I started working kids' birthday parties, like doing magic shows and like twisting balloon animals and stuff for kids when I was like 24, 25. Yeah, I think so. About that. Yeah, I was 24, 25. And then I was doing that for a while. I was at that place for like 5 years. And then I had a friend that got me a job at this bar called Senor Frogs. If anyone's ever heard of it, you guys know Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have one.
And I was twisting balloon hats for them because I knew how to twist balloons. It was just like a little niche thing that I got into, whatever. And I would just like, they call it table hopping. Like I basically would go around just to people eating or dancing or whatever, make them party hats, stupid hats.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about today, but some of them are kind of like, inappropriate. I kind of want to talk about it if I can.
Well, I mean, you can do whatever you want. I have no range, but so far all my guests have been kind of PG-13.
Okay.
Some rated R, but not much. Just in language, that's about it.
All right. So it's balloon hats, and that's it.
They.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's probably a great story. I'm so.
Oh, it was.
Hey, make a note. I'll make a note, and you can tell me when we get.
Yeah, please. I want to forget about that.
Yeah,
right.
They have. I remember some guy doing that one time. We were in a restaurant, and my dad was this. I don't want to say he was because he's still alive, but my dad's this guy. He's got this. Sometimes he has this scowl, like like he's like a leave me alone kind of guy when he's out in public, and a lot of people assume that he's mean and I'll get out, but that's not the case. He's like he's kind of mellowed out a little bit over the years, but this guy came up to the table and he's all like, "Hey!" and then starts. my dad gave him that like go to hell look, like.
Oh, that's so funny.
And that guy's like,
you actually. Okay, so I was thinking he lives right outside of Orlando, so I was thinking about moving down there by Disney World and twisting balloons over there. Like when I first kind of came down here, and I wasn't sure if I was going to stay in Tennessee,
right?
Because like Orlando, Florida is like the balloon guy capital of the world because of freaking Disney World. So I was thinking about floating on down there and twisting some balloons.
I think that's exactly where it was we were in Orlando eating. We might have been staying over there at the time and eating at a restaurant, but I can't remember what it was. It was like a steakhouse or something. It might have been like, like Logan's Steakhouse or something, like, a Golden Corral or some glorified, whatever they had. And that guy pulls up and he's like, "Hey kids." And my dad's like, "Leave us alone."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right." Dude, pull my card out of here.
That's so funny. Yeah, he's like, do that.
He's like, I'll be back.
Oh my god, yeah. Just dumb clown jokes, man. Was he full get up clown or like was he just
No, it was just like, like he'd have like the flare, like the buttons, like he's like, "Hey, I'm the balloon guy." Yeah. Balloon guy. And you're just like, get away, because like you said, you're in the middle of dinner, you're like, and you look around, you're like, "No, we're not doing
exactly.
Keep it. Get out of here." Kona Ice. Kona Ice is a shaved ice truck that brings a one-of-a-kind tropical experience to you. Guests can flavor their own Kona Ice on our signature flavor wave, dance to our island music tunes, and enjoy a nutritious and delicious treat. Contact Jeremy and Marissa at 352-403-0515. Don't forget to follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
I feel like that's where I started getting so quick and so engaging and so funny because I literally have 1 second before they shoo me away like a mosquito, and I had to win them over. And not the kids. The kids are so easy. It's the parents that are paying for it.
Yeah. What is it about? I've always wondered this, and I want to know if it's ever happened to you or if you've ever thought about this. What is up with the waitresses? You dig in, you're like, and they come around, they go, "Is everything fine?" And you're like, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah. I'll let you know when it hits my tongue.
Yeah, it's like they wait. They're like, "And here we go."
Yeah. Well, I used to wait tables back in the day before I even started doing any of this. Kids' birthday party stuff, like before any of it. They call it the 2-minute 2-bite check back. You got to check back, make sure everything's good before it becomes a problem.
Oh my gosh!
But what you become is the problem.
Yes, you're part of. Yes, exactly. You're part of the problem. And they're like, there goes your tip.
Yeah, right. It's so
you've been bugging us. Yeah, get out of here. So, my a buddy of mine used to work at I don't know if they have them where you're from, but Ruby Tuesday. Okay, so there was a Ruby Tuesdays in this town that we a couple towns over, and he was working with this guy. He was a cook, and the guy that this guy he was talking about was a waiter, and he came to work high on ecstasy. And it's like lunch crowd comes and everybody's like, they're flowing in, and he's like he took like a table of 10, and so he's hearing the music in his head. It's like boom, 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 and he's like, yeah. What do you want? Yeah, good choice. Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, okay, all right, and he walks over to the printer, and he's like doing the thing, and then he goes, ah, crap, I didn't write anything down, and so. Because he's at the club in his head, bum, bum, bum.
Right.
So he's like, oh crap. So I'm just gonna start punching stuff in. And so like he just puts all this food in, right? He's punching it in. And then all the food comes out, and that table of 10, they're looking at him like they were mad because they're like, nothing is right. Nobody got anything that they wanted. It's all wrong. So they were pissed. So they tell the manager, they're like, sir, can you go get your manager? So he's like, all right, yeah. So, so he goes and gets the manager, and he's like, God dang it, Reggie. Or whatever his name is. He's like, go over there and roll napkins. So he like put somebody else on that table. He's like, I'm so sorry, guys. And that guy rolled about 800 napkins, like with the silver, starts pumping them out. And all the waiters and waitresses are like, can he do that from now on? They're like, he's like, no, he's high on ecstasy. What do you want him to do? Like, he can't do this every day. But I just thought it was like one of the greatest stories ever. Like, guys like, all right, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah.
Let me tell you something. He's rolling more than napkins.
Yeah. When you're hearing voices in your head, or you're at the club and you're at work, it's probably a good time to lay off the stuff.
When I was a waiter, that was me without ecstasy. So I was just terrible. Okay, I was terrible.
I thought you were going to say it was like a natural high.
No, absolutely not. No.
Yes. No. Okay. No. Well.
Oh no, man! I'm so thank God. There's a God. That's why he made Old Smoky for me to work at, because
that's right.
Otherwise, I probably would be doing something like that, which or have to get a real job. Ugh.
So at Old Smoky, like, did you just walk up there and be like, "Hey, y'all," what was the process like? What did you? How did you know about it? Was that someplace you went?
So actually, one of my guys that used to go to the gym with, used to play music over there, and when I first came down here, really the only skill I had was like twisting balloons. So I was working with some of the places around here. I was working with Joe's Crab Shack and a Logan's. Actually, I was twisting over there.
Logan's.
Yeah. Also an Applebee's, but I would only go there when I was really sad and depressed, just because I wanted to sulk. in the shittiest food chain I could find.
I thought that was a TGI Fridays, but
no. I mean, TGI Fridays, okay. But
well, Applebee's beat it.
Sleep on Chili's, huh?
Oh, dude, Chili's back in the day was that was it, man. That was our high school hangout spot.
I know, Chili's is just shit.
Oh man, it was. I remember going in there and get those chicken crispers, man.
Oh, I'll get the chicken waffles.
Oh, wait, I don't think we had that. Or I remember getting that, and then back then I'm like, should I get the steak? It's $12. I don't know. I'm like $12 now. I'm like, let me get 2 of those.
Yeah, really, seriously.
Yeah, I had a buddy that every time we went out, his parents only sent him out with $8. I don't know why. I guess he did like a census report on what people spend at this is back in the late 90s. I mean, so we would go somewhere, and he's like, hey, I only got $8. We're like, dude, you know it costs more, and you got a tip still. You better not get a drink. I'm telling you right now.
Wow.
What
a freaking cheap bastard. So someone had to freaking cover his half. Who was that?
Every time.
Wow, what a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
No, he's a cool guy. It wasn't his fault. He just didn't have the money. It was his parents decided just to give him $8 every time. So we're like, we had an ongoing inside joke. It was like, I bet you $8.
Yeah. Well, he needs to invest, put that
Yeah.
$8 into a Roth IRA and let it grow.
Yeah. I
Freaking
mean,
90, he'd be retired by now.
yeah, we're gonna go to Chili's and he can go to the Wendy's across the street. You know what I mean? Like get the 4 for $4.
Yeah, right. Hey, we're allowed to bring Wendy's into this Chili's. I used to twist balloons over at a Chili's when I went to California. All right, so after I came down south,
Yeah.
I wasn't like sold on it at first.
Yeah.
It took me a
Yeah.
couple years to get comfortable here, not gonna lie. And I really wanted to work on my comedy, so I went out to this. I went to Los Angeles and I was there for about a year. I used
Yeah.
to twist balloons out there. That's what got me through for about almost a year. And I was working at the Chili's, and at Joe's Crab Shack over there. It's beautiful out there in California. You ever been out there?
No, I would love to go. We're talking about maybe going out there this summer, but I'm not quite sure if we're gonna go or not. It's so far. I mean, like, of course we're gonna fly. We wouldn't drive out there, but I don't know, man. It's just I've always wanted to go. So I've heard great things about it, but just never been.
It's great, man. It's like if you like the desert, it's kind of set up like that.
Yeah.
The mountains, like obviously you've been to the Appalachians and Smokies and stuff, which is like lush trees and stuff like that and forests, but like the way the mountains are over there, it's just like a desert mountain. It's like you see like shrubby bushes and stuff and like a bunch of dirt. From a distance, just looks really cool. And sometimes they have like snow on top of them too.
Oh wow.
And like some greenery. So like yeah, California is something else. And then obviously you got the beach is amazing. Oh, and the sunsets are amazing because sunsets in the west, I think. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing is I've always wanted to go to the Pacific side, and that's one of my dad's like bucket list things is to go in the dip his toes in the Pacific Ocean, which I agree with. I agree with him. We're always on the East Coast, and you're like you hear about the West Coast. You're like, well, let's go. I mean, one day we'll get there. I mean, it's one of those. It's a bucket list. Is the exterior of your home or business covered in dirt, mildew, or mold? Driveway or walkway stain? Pressure King can make your siding, deck, vents, and concrete look new again with no damage. Pressure King has cleaned the exterior of houses and businesses all over Sumter County area. Usually it takes less than a day and costs less than you would expect. Call AJ at 352-457-7209. Type deal.
Oh yeah. I'm glad I went there though. I was taking classes and stuff for improv comedy, and then I came back to the and then right after I did that, I got Old Smoky, and honestly, Old Smoky's the best thing that ever happened to me because of a couple things. But it was a nice bridge because, like I said, I was working with like kids and like there's adults there too, and I had jokes for that too. But like comedy's all about truth, so like I had to kind of evolve out of that because I had like jokes that I knew would work, so I'd go to them and then I would try to do them in stand up and it wouldn't work. And so like that was like one of the lessons and stuff. Like it's all about like what's true to the crowd right now, like what's real to the crowd, like not even about you. It's what are they gonna get? Like and that you should talk about. So that's why I talk about my appearance a lot. Hot dog vendor, guy from Little Caesars, pizza.
I could see. And this is nothing against you. Please don't take it the wrong way. But if you would have told me your name was Michael, I would have guessed Vinny or something. Like you look you look like a Vinny to me. I mean, that's what I get out of it. But I'm just kidding.
No, it's good. I mean, everyone, all my cousins are Vinnies, all of them, every single one of them, even the women.
No,
yeah, Vincento Lorraine. All right, it's either Vinny or Lorraine. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. Keeping it in the family. I like it.
Yeah. Even Italians do that.
That's how the rich stay rich. They keep it in the family. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Well, you said earlier. You said bringing that Wendy's into into Chili's. I've actually been somewhere where I was working for a company. We put out like office furniture, and we're like, so this guy that was with us, he's like, I brought my lunch, and I'm like, oh, well, the rest of us, we're going to go to Popeyes chicken. And so he's like, oh, that's all right. I'll just bring my lunch in there. Homeboy brought out he had the lunch box. And the manager looks over and goes, what the hell's he doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I looked at her. And I was like, he's good. He's good. I'll buy him a drink or something. He's good. Like, It's all good. She's like, and the lady's like, who cares,
Yeah.
But I mean, but people got to do what they got to do, is what I'm saying. But I was waiting for somebody to walk in and be like, is that a ham sandwich right there, buddy?
Hey, when they start selling ham sandwiches.
If they're going to stab somebody over that chicken sandwich, can you imagine what they'll do for a ham sandwich? Do you remember when the chicken sandwich came out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my! Somebody got stabbed in Orlando, or it was somewhere. They got stabbed. Who does that? It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I would.
That's chicken sandwich right there.
I wouldn't go there for the longest time because I was like, you know what? It's not worth it going in there to get stabbed over.
Yeah, that's like something that I would grow up with versus you.
Vinny. Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny over here.
Vincenzo.
Oh, yeah. No, so everyone says it like, they're like, you're not from around here, are you? I'm like, nope, not from around here. I'm from the streets. I'm from the streets.
When I was at Disney, we would have we'd have name tags, right? And you'd forget your name tag because you either left it in the car or you left it at home, whatever. And so I would go to this like costuming place and I'm like, hey, I need a name tag. And they'd pull this drawer out and there's like 5,000 name tags in there. They're like, you look like a Dwight. like where and it was, I'd be like, what else you got in there? What else, what? So it would tell you like where you're from and stuff. So I had one from I think it was the white one was from Brooklyn, New York. And I go, I don't know anything about Brooklyn. So if somebody asks you, you got to know what's going on. So a friend of mine that I was working with, she goes, oh yeah, I've been in that area. And I'm like, okay, well, can you tell me a little bit about the area? Like what's a good place to tell somebody that you're from so they don't go, ooh, And they're like, oh yeah, tell them you're from Red Hook. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. So some guy comes up to me later on. He's like, so where are you from in Brooklyn? And I go, Red Hook. And he goes, all right. And he just walked off. Like,
yeah,
like this guy's hardcore right here, So I'm like, you got to tell me another place. I can't keep telling people Red Hook. Nothing against Red Hook people. I'm just saying, I just the responses I got from people. I'm like, okay, well, let's pick another city in the borough there. And so she's like, how about Williamsburg? I'm like, okay, that sounds like there should be a Busch Gardens there or something.
Yeah, that's where a guy named Dwight should be.
Yeah.
Dwight better leave Red Hook immediately. All right.
Dwight's from the streets, bro. He don't play.
Dwight is not from the streets, all right? Dwight is from a very loving family. That's where Dwight's from. So.
Yeah, fighter Dwight. That's what.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. But I had another one that said Christian from Bayamon, Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, good luck with that one, bro.
Yeah, and the guy goes, and then this guy comes up and he's like, they look, oh, Puerto Rico. And he's like, you don't sound Puerto Rican, or you don't. And I go, I'm from Southern Puerto Rico. I'm from the South, brother. What's up? We don't have gang signs yet because I haven't really thought about it. Just kind of we're going to get together and figure it all out. You know what I'm saying?
White Dwight from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, White Dwight. That's a family name right there. Passed on from generation to generation. Yeah. Duto Realty is a homegrown business with an eye for getting the job done right. From football games to Sunday school and everything in between, these ladies care about our community and the people in it. Helping buyers and sellers in all of Florida with all types of transactions, including residential, commercial, farm, or vacant land. They do it all. They even offer auction services and sellouts to always get the job done right. So you moved to Tennessee. How old were you when you moved there?
I was 30, just about 30.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So what was it like living in New York? Because I only know a handful of New York people, like New Yorkers, I would say. What do you miss it at all, or?
At first I did, but now I'm actually doing much better here. And
Yeah.
like I said, my job really made me like this place. As soon as I found Old Smoky, I started to like it because I liked what I was doing every single day. And I needed to grow past the whole balloon thing. And I actually have been working on some, trying to get out of that for a number of years,
Right.
because I didn't get into comedy to be twisting balloons. It was just like a gig that I picked up, that kind of like just made me
Right.
money. So I'm doing it. Um, but yeah, 30 years old, I lost my job and broke up with my ex-girlfriend in the same month. So I just needed a fresh start. Came down here and started over again. I did actually leave twice though. I left twice. I was in Los Angeles that one time, and I was in Myrtle Beach for about a year when I was dating my ex-girlfriend. So
Oh yeah.
so that's what brought me out there, and
Gotcha.
um, I missed my job a lot, so I came back home. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, yeah, that's I've been in New York twice, and I loved both times, and I guess I loved it because I didn't live there. It was just like you're on vacation, and but I can see why people live there and they never leave because it is a pretty cool place. Our first
it is a
time,
cool place. It's like, I mean, there's plenty of things to do. I mean, there's
oh yeah,
everything's expensive, that's for sure. So you got to make a lot of money to make it out there. But you
right,
will make more money. But like the food, really, it's the food. Like that's really all I miss is the food. Like the South
yeah,
has good food in certain niches and stuff, but like New York City. I mean, I grew up in Queens, which is the most ethnically diverse place in the world because of Ellis Island and stuff. So like
right, right,
I did not come here with a realistic grasp on what like middle America like
yeah,
is.
yeah, oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah. I was like, what do you mean there's no pizza at 2 o'clock in the morning? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? It's not here. That's crazy. So it was an adjustment for sure, like the
yeah.
lifestyle. Um, but
Yeah, I
people are nice. People are nice down here.
oh, super nice. And that Southern hospitality, and that it a lot of people. I learned that when I was in New York. People don't talk to people. They don't when they walk down the sidewalk. It's like a bunch of zombies walking down there. I mean, I know they got places they need to go, but there's no how you doing, good morning. It's all business. It's point A to point B, and they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not stereotyping anybody. I mean, they might say hello every once in a while, but when I was there, I never saw any kind of interaction. It almost made me want to walk backwards up the street just so I could see people's faces because they
Yeah.
never, you never really do see a person or get to know anybody.
Well,
Um,
like I said, man, it's a cool place with all the buildings and stuff and like history and like Statue of Liberty and all that stuff. And like I said,
right,
obviously food's amazing. But long story short, I'm happier down here. I never thought I'd say that because like my family had been down here for a number of years before I joined them.
right.
And what happened to was by mistake. So ended up being probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. Based off where
Gotcha,
I'm at right now. Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Um, there's a guy. Used to listen to. His name was Tim Wilson. He passed away. He was a comedian, Southern comedian. He would write songs and do the comedy bits in between songs. He was really talented. Was on the Bob and Tom show a lot, and just did a bunch of different things. But he's talking about New York. He goes, "Yeah, I was in New York. I was in a cab, and the guy says to me, he's from Columbus, Georgia, I think, and he goes, yeah, where you from? And he goes, Georgia. And he goes, yeah, I got a nephew there, cousin that lives down there, West Virginia. Like he
Yeah.
had no idea what the South was. Like he'd been there so long that he said Georgia, and he's that's nowhere near close where you just said. He's like, yeah, I got a cousin there, West Virginia. Yeah, he's in West Virginia.
Let me tell you how New Yorkers think. There's New York, and then there's not New York, and that's the whole world.
Yep.
All right, you're either from New York or you're not from New York.
Right. You're either with
And,
us or against us. Yeah, 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 yeah.
oh yeah,
That's crazy though. So Old Smoky, going back to that, really cool place. Every time we go there, we always leave with something, and we really don't need it, but we love it. Whether your water is supplied by a public municipality or or a private well. For residential or commercial use, Purified Water Services LLC has the solutions to provide you with simply clean water. We offer a complete line of professional water filtration equipment and accessories. Soft water makes a difference you can see and feel. Water heater and appliances last longer with less maintenance. Iron and H2S filters eliminate iron stains and offensive rotten egg odors and protects your water softener equipment from iron fouling. No matter what your problem is, Purified Water Services LLC has a solution. Contact Kenny Williams at 352-446-2709. And it's a really cool place, like you've said. I can imagine working there and having like I said, like you said, it was like a revolving door. You could just, once somebody leaves, it's like, okay, next show, and you just set it up again.
Yeah, I know, it's great. So I've gotten so many reps, I've been doing this for 10 years before I got Old Smoky, and get reps telling jokes and stuff for years before that. But I would say I just in the 5 years I've been there, I've gotten over 10,000 hours of just like opportunities to just entertain people and stuff. And that's why it's such a blessing, because it was a step up from like working with kids in that environment to like, this is almost basically a comedy club, like kind of sort of in ways. So I could just work on my stuff, and that's what they want me to do. They're not gonna be like, hey, stop wasting time telling jokes, go run this food to your next table or whatever, like they're actually rewarding me for telling my jokes. And I was like, okay, I'm making good money doing it, like decent money. I'm still a bartender. I'm not like rich or nothing, but like, I'm comfortable.
Right.
Cost of living's good down here. We got 13 million tourists and no one's doing stand-up comedy. So I like to pitch Savage Comedy Club. If you guys like my little silly ass jokes, follow me. Got Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Trying to build a club in Pigeon Forge, and I also go on the road and do shows in different states and cities. So if I come to your town, I'll post a flyer about it. Or if you're in town, come through and check out some live stand-up comedy.
Where at in Pigeon Forge is the best place to catch stand-up comedy?
It doesn't exist until I build it. So
they don't have like a Chuckle Barn or something like the Chuckle Hut or anything?
Chuckle Hut, right? That's a great name for a comedy club. I've had the same thought, actually. And it's trademarked, so no, I'm just kidding.
yeah. So I'm actually surprised that there's not a place.
It's insane. I mean, but like, that's all right. So like when I first came down here, like I said, it took me a while to get comfortable. Well, first of all, besides myself and like my development as a comic, I'd say that the comics around me here have developed a lot. So to credit to them, the people that work out in Knoxville and stuff, and also Bristol. I wasn't really familiar with Chattanooga. I think Chattanooga had some guys already, but in the 8 years that I've been down here, it's come a long way, and I feel like I'm being challenged. At first, there was like a kind of a dearth of talent, especially in Knoxville. Not to, knock too many people, because there were good ones there, but I just, like, coming from New York, I was like, it's kind of depressing going to do shows and stuff down here, like, compared to the level of competition I always wanted to be around,
Right.
But I forgot the point that I was making, but I'm going to be the first stand-up comedy club there, because it's just not a part of the culture. It's not part of the culture, but they like it. Like, people are looking for shows down here and they like stand-up comedy, but just nobody from around here, came up around it and like can't live without it. Like me, basically, So I'm always jonesing for it, man. Like all I think about is the next punchline. Like, that's all I ever think about, man.
And you're absolutely right about the profession that you're in right now. It helps you get those reps. I mean, you can't be so like last summer, when I saw you last summer, we went to that Titanic Museum, which coincidentally, that submarine had imploded at the same time that was going down to see the Titanic. Ironically, it was weird. But anyways, you couldn't go in there and be one of those like one of those parts and be like, so think you'll make it off here alive? Just like, I mean, because I don't know if you've ever been, but they hand you these cards. Have you been there? Yeah. So they hand you the card and you're like, all right, we're going to see if we made it out of here or not. I mean, it's like, it's the most depressing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Like, you hear violin.
Yeah.
I could
So
never. I mean, like Old Smoky, just as long as I'm making them laugh and selling them liquor,
yeah,
then I'm good. Like it's perfect, and it's basically, I don't want to say there's no rules, but like
yeah,
it's like really it's not a normal workplace. I'll tell you what.
right,
So I'm just fortunate that it exists because like when I came down here, one of the reasons I wanted to come, I did not want to come down here at first was because I just didn't think that there was anything that could like help me grow as a
right,
comic. But Old Smoky, this is the one place in the world that like really you could sell moonshine for a living. I'm gonna say probably
yeah, oh yeah,
get by,
and get away
like
with it.
yeah, yeah, and get away with it. So it just like God is good, I guess. Like I ended up in the
Yeah.
right place,
Well,
completely by accident, I guess.
you know what's funny and ironically is a lot of people don't realize this, but Pigeon Forge, what county is that?
Severe.
Severe. It's a dry county,
Yeah. Yeah.
and but there's distilleries everywhere.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like, we were staying at a so right above the the island. There's a lodge there that we stayed at. It's down by Forge and Fire, almost like right in front of that.
Mhm.
And right next door was this distillery. I'm like, well, like we're walking distance next door over to get more moonshine. I mean, it was like they like place them strategically like around the city. It's hilarious. And then you're like, but then you're like, well, where's the? I would like some rum. Where's the ABC at? And like, oh, you got to go to. You got to go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to go to Georgia to get that.
It's just impossible to buy
Yeah.
anything besides whiskey or moonshine there. Like, no. It's
Yeah.
basically dry for some, I guess.
It's crazy how some rules are like that. It's like, I was like, and it took me like a moment to take that in. I'm like, okay, so I just bought moonshine, but this is a dry county. Right.
Yeah. Well, Old Smoky, so yeah, it used to be a totally dry county, but Old Smoky's lawyered up. Okay, like it's a moonshine company, but they were started by lawyers. All the people in corporate, they got to be a lawyer essentially. I don't know if this is true or not, but everyone seems to be a lawyer. They know their ways in and out of every single law that there is there.
Right.
And actually, Joe Baker, he's the guy who started Old Smoky, and Scientology. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't do that. But yeah, basically, that's how I see him. I mean,
I would have went with it.
Yeah, he's a super millionaire.
Yeah.
But he was a lobbyist, and he actually changed the laws around. He was a lawyer, and he worked like in the city hall and stuff like that. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, so he actually maneuvered the laws around so that you could allow in a distillery sampling of your product and only that. So like it's not like people are allowed to come there and get drunk, but you could try, up to like basically the same liquor content. It's like 2-3 shots of
Gotcha.
our stuff, all broken up to different flavors. And that was the loophole in the law. It was, we're sampling our product. We're not a bar, and we're not a liquor store because
Right.
we're carrying other brands.
Right.
And then besides that, yeah, there's like one liquor store in Gatlinburg. It's ridiculous. It's insane.
Oh my gosh.
It's so silly. It's like I
Yeah.
can't believe it.
Well, I mean, I get it. You don't want to be carrying grandma out of the Old Smoky. Like, she's like, and another thing,
Yeah.
Savage is going to give me the.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't get the deal, he said.
That's right. I don't know if this is the Alzheimer's or the alcohol, but maybe we shouldn't let her drink.
She's having a good time. That's all that matters. Thanks for watching part 1 of this 2-part podcast. Check out full episodes on YouTube and Spotify.